Mountain Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for a little Thursday Night Thunder. Presented to you by Extreme E-Speed TV. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, bringing you parts 1 and 2 of the 3-night event here, or the 3-event race here at the Knoxville Raceway. First up, as always, we got the 358 Modifieds, and next, we'll have the big blocks come out and play a little bit. 358's welcome as well. I think you'll want the power here, though. At the Knoxville Raceway, I think we'll see people go big block. But coming into tonight, Sam Bachman is your point leader by 12 points over his teammate Clay Christofferson. Brian Dickens rounds out the top 3. He's at 376. Clay's at 381. Sam at 393. So really the top 3 very, very close. Anthony Morano, he's run 6 races. He's at 335. And Trevor Giroux's at 323. Rounding out the top 5 there. And he's run 1 less race than everyone else. So Trevor, we'll have to see what this 75 can do as he comes around here. Ready to take the green flag for lap number 1. Let's watch the Philly Flyer here for his first trip around. Trevor's going to sling it in here. Looks like he likes that middle top here for lap number 1. You can always go back to the bottom for lap number 2. You want to make sure you got full speed to do it, though. And lap number 1, as we see time start to roll in, Trevor Giroux with a 1947, but the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, Makes quick work of that time. 1941. The 32 moves up to the top step. Can he improve on a second time around? Looking to the low side through 3 and 4. The 32 hammers it, straightens it out. What's it looking like? We see a purple there from his teammate, the 007, and James Bond, Sam Bachman, by a 10th and a half with a 19.24. Reminding everyone why he's the points leader with a qualifying effort like that. Man, oh man, he's going to have to overcome a 4th place starting spot in the heat race, but with that kind of speed, I don't think he's going to mind. Clay Christopherson takes over P1. Couple cars still out on the racetrack. Mike Brewer here. Another FTM driver as he finishes up. Brewer, he's going to have to stick with P12 right behind him. His teammate Scott Rayone, but Isaac Salas, he puts in a time, moves him up to P3. Put himself inside the top 5. Looks like everyone has qualified, and, well, looky there. Gonna get ready to roll into heat race number 1. Starting on the outside of row number 5, the 83 of the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer, into his inside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio. Row number 4 on the outside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield, into his inside, the Deuce of Harold Klump. Row number 3 on the outside, the 143 of... Oh, man, I have no idea how to pronounce that. I should have maybe sent Dino a message. They can laugh at me now. Maybe one of those guys will know. But, hey, I know how to say Zeneker in the back, but... Elise, maybe? Not too sure, but to his inside, the 444, Scott Rayone. Man, that one threw me for a loop. Row number 2 on the outside, the 007 of Sam Bachman, your pole winner. And to his inside, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Row number 1 for heat race number 1 at the Knoxville Raceway on the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And to his inside, starting on the pole, the 122 of Brian Dickens. We'll see. Still waiting on the Spider Monkey to grid here, so not too sure if he's going to make the call or not. Hopefully Dittmer can get out here with us. For at least the B main, we're going to have one tonight. 3 heat races with, what are we thinking here? I think it's a 10-9-9. But it's 28 drivers. May have 29, but I think it's 28 drivers. So first of 3 heat races here at the Knoxville Raceway is watching the paint dry here on the pace car. There we go. Dittmer not going to be able to make the call here. Hopefully he can get back out for the B main. Dittmer, he's a guy who you could honestly mention as a winner here. You know, he's a guy who you're not really that surprised if he works his way up towards the front. But he made it that much harder on himself here tonight. Really going to have an uphill battle. I was going to say, I thought it was Scott Zeneker. Thanks for chiming in, Bill. I was like, I'd said Zeneker before, and I'm like, maybe we added another Zeneker. I assumed it was Scott. I can remember that. But the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 underway at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's go play. As 3 wide there for P2. Sam Bachman looking to make quick work on that outside. What can he do? The Philly Flyer down low. The Beast in the middle. And James Bond up top where all that grip is, goes from 4th to 2nd, only takes him 1 lap. And Sam Bachman looking to make quick work here as we run off of 2. Scott Rayome trying to move up into a transfer spot. Right now he's 2 spots on the outside looking in, currently 6 there as Butters looking to the outside of Trevor Giroux. He's in that 4th and final transfer. Hung up is Sam Bachman. He makes a move for the lead. Brian Dickens trying to come back with a little piece of his own. Sends it back through 3 and 4, but Sam Bachman, oh man, goes in there, destroys the house with that qualifying effort on absolute rails here to start heat race number 1. Sam Bachman, somebody's going to need to figure something out to come back at this guy, or it is going to be a long night. And speaking of long night, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, had a great qualifying effort, but now finds himself on the outside looking in 5th place. He's got 4 laps to get himself into that 4th and final transfer spot as they race side by side in front. The Brewerton Beast down low, Butters up high. Can Jason complete that pass? The answer is yes. Butters slides his way on up in front of the 513. Now the Philly Flyer trying to do the same thing, but the Brewerton Beast going upstairs, shutting the door. And Trevor's got to be careful what he wants to do here. You know, right now, if you finish 5th, are you in the show? No, but you're starting the B main on the pole, and that's a lot better than shuffling yourself out and losing 2 or 3 spots here, but he's going to send it down low, go for it one more time, and gonna have to fall back up in line. He realizes real quick, not gonna make that work as we roll through 3 and 4. The white flag flies. One more trip around for the 007, Sam Bachman. Sam Bachman started 4th, made quick work getting up there to P2, and once Brian left that door open, Sam went on by, and the checkered flag waves. The point leader is going to start on the pole here for tonight's feature at Knoxville. Brian Dickens, Jason Butterfield, Jeff Parker race their way in. Trevor Giroux, Harold Klump, Scott Rayome, Scott Zeneker, Mike Govecchio, and Brandon Dittmer to the B main. As we get ready for our starting grid here for heat race number 2. Okay, we added another guy. I didn't pay attention, so we're at least at 29 for the moment. If we have 2 heat races with 10 drivers. Row number 5 on the outside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler, into his inside, the 21 of John DeBias. Row number 4 on the outside, the librarian in the 41, Pat Boyce, into his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 3 on the outside, the 27 of Kyle Root, and to his inside, the 218 of Superman Kurt Schatzer. Row number 2 to the outside, the Ant-Man Anthony Morano, and to his inside, the 011 of Randall Dixon. Row number 1 for heat race number 2, top 4 transfer on the outside, the 397 of the Canadian Alex Pomerleau, and starting on the pole, the 213 of Michael Vecchio. As well, we get to try to fix this real quick. Not going to go to the normal camera, but the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 2 underway. Randall Dixon caught sleeping a little bit there on the inside, and Anthony Morano, he's going to go down and move on up to P3 right away, shut the door, go to the inside, see if he can't dance under the Canadian Alex Pomerleau. He's got the spot coming off the corner. Can he get it at the line? Answers yes, Anthony Morano. Man, he's trying to do his best Sam Bachman impression. Sam did it fast. Anthony trying to do it a little quicker, but starting to stall out now on the bottom. We saw Sammy wanted that high side, his teammate going straight to the inside. Michael Vitale, though, with a little slip up. He opens the door, and Anthony Morano slows down Michael Vecchio slows down that 397. Allows Anthony Morano to get up there and edge in front, but now the Canadian, he's fighting back a little bit. What kind of run does the Ant-Man get off of 4? And the answer is a good one. He moves up, completes the pass, and now it's time to go to work, see if he can't take over the lead. But battle for 5th and 6th here. Kyle Root up the road ahead of Superman there in the 218 as Superman blinks out a little bit, shows back up. And Anthony Morano trying to take that 32, put it on that top shelf, and move on up to the top step. As Randall Dixon has the outside roll, and he's able to get around the Canadian Alex Pomerleau, get back up to P3 where he started. He'd like one more. You got to make sure you make the right moves, hit the right grooves, and Anthony Morano moves on up as there's contact in the back. Greg Parmalee into the infield wall. Kurt Schatzer has to tow, and just like that, Two guys seeing themselves to the B main here early as we roll through 3 and 4. Looking to come down the front stretch here. 2 fingers in the air. 2 more trips around for the Ant-Man. Michael Vitale lost the lead there. Now he's fixing to lose P2 if he doesn't get it together, because here comes Randall Dixon ripping that top shelf, but is he running out of time? Coming to the white flag here, 1 more lap to go. Alex Pomerleau in that 4th and final transfer spot. Kyle Root in P5, but just too much of a gap for him to overcome. He's going to need some help here in the final set of corners. Last time through 3 and 4. And Anthony Morano going to bring home heat race number 2. Followed by Michael Vitale, Randall Dixon, Alex Pomerleau, the show. Kyle Root, John Tobias, Pat Boyce, Kelly Wheeler, Kurt Schatzer, and Greg Parmalee to the B main. As we get ready for our 3rd and final heat race in the Full Throttle Motorsports Venom Racing 358 Modifieds. Running out the field in the 99, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. Row number 4 to the outside in the 099, Glenn Sharp. And to his inside, the 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row number 3 on that top shelf, Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. in the 055. And man, these two, that's a fun row. They've been having a lot of fun together. On the inside, that's 79 of Dean Reynolds. Row number 2 on the outside, the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. And to his inside, the Canadian, Mike Weida. Row number 2 on the outside, the 025 of Gary Sigelkow. And to his inside, the 390 of Mike Brewer. And that's out of habit saying the 025. Gary Sigelkow is no longer the 025. He's got the 25 now, but old habits die hard, as they say, and sometimes that slips up a little bit. And I think he understands. As we pace around here for the final time. Gavin Chatham not making the call here in the 99, so he's going to see himself to the B main as well. Hopefully he can get back out there. Not too sure what's going on out there tonight, but driver's missing some shows. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay. Heat race number 3 at the Knoxville Raceway underway, and they're 3 wide right away. Mike Weida downstairs in the basement, and Brian Moore Sr. already up 2 spots, started 6th, up to 4th with a great jump, and Dino trying to close in that gap there. 3-4 wide coming off of 4. Isaac Salas holding off the field here now. They're P2, but he's got 3 wide behind him, and Mike Brewer out front loving every second of this. That FTM driver would love to make a statement here, and we haven't talked to Mike on the podium yet. At least I haven't, and I'd love to get to know the new FTM driver. Not so new, but newer to me is Gary Sigelkow. He gets fed a right rear for dinner. He's stuck in that outside wall. He's going to have to tow that thing and call it a night as Mike Brewer rolls out of 3 and 4. Good size lead over Slide Job, and that's something Isaac Salas maybe not accustomed to, seeing a car 7/10 up the road in front of him. He's normally reeling in that fishing rod, but right now the tuna's pulling him out to sea a little bit. Mike Brewer needling himself into a big lead, but Isaac, the better car through 3 and 4 there, gets a 10th back as we watch for the race, the 4th and final transfer spot. Those are teammates, the 51 and the 79. Clay, Putt Putt, trying to give Dino as much room, trying to complete that pass on the bottom, and you see it just hurts his run coming off the corner. Can't carry momentum. They're 3 wide, beating and banging as we go down the front stretch. Putt Putt, he's got to send it in. Brian Moore Sr. probably didn't know they were 3 wide, didn't leave a bunch of room. And Dino rub a little bit, but Dino moves on. No harm, no foul. But the big beneficiary, that 051 of Clay Christopherson, As Isaac, he must have had the broadcast on. He heard me instigating him, and he's really cut into that lead. On the low side, the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. As we roll through 3 and 4, set to take a look at that white flag. One more trip around at Knoxville. Can Isaac throw a move? Mike tried to go down and block, but missed the line. Does that allow a pass? No, Mike gets a good enough run off the corner. Gonna shut the doors. He goes into 3 and 4. Doesn't hit it as well, but doesn't need to. Final time out of 4. And Mike Brewer brings home heat race number 3 over Isaac Salas, Clay Christopherson, and Dean Reynolds to the show. Mike Weeda, Brian Moore Sr., Glenn Sharp, Gary Sigelkow, and Gavin Chatham to the B main. As we take a look at our starting grid for tonight's B main, do some quick math. 12 going to the show, 5 going home. Take your pick. Who's it going to be? Rounding out the field, P17, the 4, Greg Parmalee. Row number 8 on the outside, the 83 of the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. And to his inside, the 99 of Gavin Chatham. Row number 7 on that top shelf, the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. And to his inside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio. Row number 6 on the outside, the 25 of Gary Sigelkow. And to his inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Row number 5 on the top shelf in the 143, that's Scott Zeneker. Into his inside, the 099 of Glenn Sharp. Row number 4 on the outside, the librarian Pat Boyce. Into his inside, the 444 of Scott Rayone. Row number 3 to the outside, Mr. Wednesday Night Brian Moore Sr. And to his inside, the 21 of Blackjack John Tobias. Row number 2 to the outside, the deuce of Harold Klump. And to his inside, the 81 of Mike Weeda. Row number 1 for your B main. 12 cars make it to the show. On the outside, the 27 of Kyle Root. And to his inside, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Man, I'm not too sure why these keep double stacking here. Tried to do a little refresh. Are we going to go around again? Yes, we are. We're going to go around one more time. So this gives me time here. I'm going to try to reset both ends of this. So you may see it stop moving or disappear, but we'll get it back up and running here in just a second as we pace around. 10 laps to punch your ticket here at the Knoxville Raceway. Like I said, we're paying attention to that top 12. That's what's going to be important here tonight. 2 cars not making the call, Brandon Dittmer and Gavin Chatham, but Brandon Dittmer is actually there on pit road, so not sure if the Spider Monkey is going to make it out in time. What's going on, but the Steve King Foundation pace car gets ready to pull off. Drivers roll out of 4. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 10 laps to play at the Knoxville Raceway. Top 12 to the show. The Philly Flyer with a good run there through 1 and 2 on the bottom. He goes up and shuts the door. But let's go back. Let's take a look here. Scott Zeneker in P12 as Michael Vecchio to the inside. He goes up over the berm. He gets a couple guys. Boy, oh boy, big move. But now Greg Parmalee back on the outside. And Scott Zeneker not sure what's going on with that 143, but that thing is not behaving. And Brandon Dittmer missing that start. He is going to need some help. The Spider Monkey. Whole world got turned upside down tonight. Not too sure what's going on. But hey, they're making contact up here. John Tobias in that 3 machine. We're begging him to put 21 on the side of that car. So it helps me out a little bit because, man, that throws me off when I look at that thing. But John, for the moment, holds on to a transfer spot. But got 3 wide behind him, a little beating and banging. Greg Parmalee thought about making it 4 wide, but you ain't going to make that work. You got to race smart. Now the 099 of Glenn Sharp. He is in P12, so all that 3 wide, 4 wide nonsense in front of him they're just jeopardizing their race. They're already in the show. I think Glenn Sharp, he's got the right idea. Doesn't really need to force the issue right now. Has himself in the show. And that's the angle I'm taking. If I'm out there on the racetrack, you know, Gary Sigelkow, he's a little back there. Michael Vecchio a little back there. Scott Seneker back there. And Brandon Dittmer being late to the start. He's definitely way back there. But let's take a peek. Trevor Giroux, you see that lead over Mike Weeda, 1.3 seconds. Trevor is going to wish he could have got up into the top 4 in his heat, preferably top 2 with the pace that Trevor's got. Looks like he could have been somebody in contention for a win here this evening, but really not starting in the top 10. Not that you can't do it, but man, at the Knoxville Raceway, it is harder than ever to complete that pass and get it done. But right now, 3 laps to go here. Take a look, Glenn Sharp still in that 12th and final transfer spot. Drivers in front. They got the message. They're tapping each other on the helmet. Calm down. We're in the show. Let's just get our way in. No reason to do something exciting. The exciting part's yet to happen. You don't get any fireworks for winning the Beam Main. You don't even get any money either. But as we roll down the backstretch here, Trevor Giroux swings us off into 3 and 4. He's going to be looking for that white flag this time by one more trip around for the 075. Trevor Giroux, always in contention for a win. Anytime he's out there on the racetrack, and he shows us why here, as we're going to have to change the focus on those cameras. They look a little blurry, not very good. Checkered flag waves, and Trevor Giroux punches his ticket. Mike Weeda, Harold Klump, Brian Moore Sr., Scott Rayham, Kurt Schatzer, Kyle Root, Pat Boyce, Kelly Wheeler, John Tobias, Greg Parmalee, and Gary Sigelkow to the show. As we get ready to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back for your Venom Racing Full Throttle Motorsports 358 Modified feature. Stick around. We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Just about to get ready to roll off in your Full Throttle Motorsports Venom Racing 358 Modifieds. Once again, first of 3 shows to see Scott Rayome on the new wheel tonight. Well, good luck, Scotty. We got Mark Hawk out there, part of the Brew Crew. He's a Mike Brewer fan. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a show. I try to peek over at that C2C chat box whenever I can. Let me know who you're rooting for here tonight. Always love a little bit of the interaction, but let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's 358 Modified feature, rounding out the field, starting on the outside of row number 12, the 25 of Gary Siegelkow, into his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 11 on that outside, the 21 of Blackjack John DeBias, into his inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Row number 10 on the outside, the Librarian Pat Boyce, into his inside, the 27 of Kyle Root. Row number 9 on that top shelf, the 218 of Superman Kurt Schatzer, into his inside, the 444 of Scott Rayome. Row number 8 on the outside, Mr. Wednesday Night Brian Moore Sr., into the inside, the Deuce of Harold Klump. Row number 7 on that top shelf, the 81 of Mike Weeda, into his inside, fellow Canadian in the 075, the Philly Flyer Trevor Giroux. Row number 6 on that top shelf in the 79, Dean Reynolds, into his inside, the actual Canadian in the 397, Alex Pomerleau. Row number 5 on that outside, the Brewerton Beast in the 513, Jeff Barker, and lined up to his inside, the 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row number 4 on the outside, the 011 of Randall Dixon, into his inside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield. Row number 3 on the outside, the 5 of Sly Job Isaac Salas, lined up to the inside, the 213 of Michael Vitale. Row number 2 on the outside, the 122 of Brian Dickens, into his inside, the 390 of Mike Brewer. Row number 1 for your 358 Modified feature. Got a pair of Full Throttle Motorsports teammates. On the outside, the 32 of the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And starting on the pole, your current point leader in the 007, Sam Bachman. As we roll through 3 and 4, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 30 laps to play in the clay at Knoxville Raceway. We're underway. 3 wide right away. Isaac to the outside. Randall took a peek in the middle, but just didn't have the momentum to keep with him. But right now, Sam Bachman clips that berm. You see there, that was Mike Brewer. He followed him. Had to check up. No arm, no foul. They keep on rolling. But boy, oh boy, beating and banging back here in the back. The 513 of the Brewerton Beast. He's stuck in the middle. Caution flag flies. Well, we were still getting some fireworks here. But Pat Boyce gets beat around a little bit in this 41 machine. And take a look and see if we can see what happened. Right now on the outside, he's got Blackjack John DeBias. Just closes the door. John's up there, bounces into the inside wall. And hard hit for the 41 of Pat Boyce. Oh, we got Butch out there. What's up, Butch? How you doing, brother? As always, rooting for his Venom Motorsports teammates. We got BT Media out there rooting for, I think that's Brandon Templeton. I can maybe put 1 and 2 together here. We got him rooting for his teammates Brian Dickens and Superman Kurt Schatzer in that 218. Light's still on in that Steve King Foundation pace truck. So let's see here. I tried to unblur these. Looks like it worked. I tried to do a little work there under caution. I'm not too sure what it is. Sometimes iRacing, they love those mini updates. I don't know. It'll change the focus of your cameras and some of your extra track cameras that you've created and spent your hard time on. They just want to keep you on the toes, you know. Make sure you can mess around with that picture quality a little bit. See, do the lights go off this time? Yes, they do. We're going to get ready to go back and play this time at the Knoxville Raceway. I'll give you the call here, but we're going to stay in these track cams for lap number 1. In fact, we'll roll around with them here. I want to take a look at the racing throughout the racetrack. We'll try to sit still a little bit. Just see what's going on. See where guys are finding speed, where they're trying to make their moves. Plenty of time to play here at the Knoxville Raceway. As caution laps aren't counting, so we'll see the lap timers reset as the green flag dropped. We're back underway. Great jump from the 007 of Sam Bachman. Oh, the Ant-Man goes around. Not sure if Anthony had some help, but I can tell you there's a parking lot. Big cleanup coming out of aisle 2. Let's see, the boys beating and banging here early at the Knoxville Raceway. 2 laps, 2 cautions. Let's see if we can find the Ant-Man here. There you go. You see him. He gets up over the berm. The 122 of Brian Dickens does the same. Gets into the back of the 32. He tries to check up. Too little, too late. Isaac to the inside. He wheelies on by. Dino sneaks through. Randall Dixon not so lucky. Kelly Wheeler involved as well. And Pat Boyce just barely sneaks on through. But tough break for Anthony Morano. Last season champion. And man, oh man, just can't find a way to get it rolling in his direction. I mean, that's a tough break. He just makes a mistake, and you can't blame Brian. He's down there on the rear end just following him, and you get sucked in. And dang, Spider Monkey. Sorry, everyone, for the quiet. I was reading there. Where they unsynced his iRacing wheel. You know what? The same guy who did that, Brandon's the one who blurred up my cameras. To heck with him. We'll have to figure out who did it. The lights go off on the Steve King Foundation pace car, and we're set to go back racing. 2 quick cautions here early on, like I mentioned. Let's see if we settle down, get this thing rolling. Brian Dickens, yeah, he's still... As the lights came back on, I think, on the racetrack. But we'll see here. No, they didn't. Okay, I thought I saw those yellow lights. I could have sworn I seen the lights come back on, but hey, the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. 3rd restart here at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's see if the boys can behave as we're back underway. Well, so far, so good. The field made it into turn 1. Let's glance on back here. We don't see any problems. No beating and banging as we continue to roll. But Isaac Salas on up to P2 here. Can the 5 get racing? He started 6th. Made quick work of those 4 in front of him. Now can he do one more? But Sam Bachman always proves to be a fast character. Hence being the point leader as Isaac sends it in down low. Going to slide up, trying to look for some grip coming off the corner. But Mike Brewer says, how's it going, Isaac? Takes a piece, throws it down on the inside. And how about it, Brew Crew? Mike Brewer moving on up to P2. 25 laps left to go. That says 25. Maybe we had a 30-lap feature. I must have got caught sleeping. I thought it was 25. But hey, I've been wrong plenty of times. Ask the wife. As Jeff Barker looks to the inside, he started 10th, up to 8th. He's got another car on the move behind him, 2 actually. Dino and that B-main winner in the 075, the Philly Flyer. Can Trevor Giroux keep that climb on going? He gets into the outside wall. Didn't want to get in the back of Dino. Dino went up there, slammed the door shut. Now Trevor's going to have to find another way around as we take a peek back up towards the top three. Isaac Salas and Mike Brewer trying to exchange positions one more time here as we enter 1 and 2. Isaac content with running that bottom until he gets to the eggs. They're going to slide up here, take the pass back, but Mike Brewer says, hang on, buddy. I think I'm quicker than both you and my teammate in that 007. I just need a couple laps to get it together. Moves right on back up to P2, and Brian Dickens absolutely loving what he sees after starting fourth. Those guys were pulling away a little bit. He's reeling them back in there with all the slide job mess in front of him. Clay Christopherson started 9th. He's worked that 051 up into the top 5. And, you know, Putt-Putt's quick every time he comes here. He's doing it in a way that we're unfamiliar with, ripping that outside. Putt-Putt loves slowing it down and ripping the inside line. So I assume if he isn't doing it, well, then as soon as I lay down the challenge, there he goes through 3 and 4. I told you, he loves running that inside, but you must want to be upstairs through 1 and 2. If he's running the combo line, that is 100% what you want to do. And that's going to be your quickest way around. Mr. Wednesday Night, he had to race his way up in through the beam main. He started 16th, up 4 spots. And Scott Rayome, he's been following him up the whole way. He's up 4 spots as well if he can work around the 81 of Mike Guida. But Mike goes up there, shuts the door. Superman goes low. And Kurt Schatzer, he's going to try to complete this pass. As we jump back up front, Isaac Salas able to get back to P2 and able to loosen up that leash a little bit. Mike Brewer had it tight. Now he's going to see if he can make a move here. Doesn't have anyone behind him that can throw another slide job, a comeback. This is all him and Sam. Best driver's going to win this one, and right now it looks like the 5 of Isaac Salas has the quicker race car, but you know what they say, always easier to run second than it is to lead. You get to see where that guy in front of you making his mistakes, having his hiccups, but the caution flag flies for the 3rd time as we're almost at the halfway point. Scott Rayome in the 444, and I believe Alex Palmer. So it starts up the way in front of Scott. Alex, man, he gets a shot from the 055 of Brian Moore Sr. Brian just sent it in deep. Not sure if he knew Alex was there. Rayome, then he gets into the back of the 055 of Brian Moore Sr. Absolutely nowhere to go. He gets a little sideways, but man, oh man, tough break for the 397, minding his own business. Just gets fed a little dinner when he wasn't hungry on that inside left. Now, Sam Bachman, what do you do here if you're the 007? Do you pick the inside on the restart? You go to the outside. Personally, I think you pick the inside. The motor isn't wound up yet here when you get going. Take the shortest way through 1 and 2. Throw that slide job. Get up there and try to plant yourself back in P1. But same time, if you're the 5 of Isaac Salas, you got to be as aggressive as you can. Can't jump it, but man, you gotta be damn near close. You gotta have that thing timed. You want to give yourself a shot at this thing, and the only real way to do that is to get aggressive, because the 390 of Mike Brewer is going to be right behind Sam Bachman, I'd imagine. No, that is our 3rd caution. So actually, I guess going single file now. Single file restart here because the lights are off. So not as much pressure now on the 5 of Isaac Salas. You just don't want to let that 390 get to the inside here. If he gets a countdown from his teammate, that's all you're worried about. So you just got to keep that car as low to the left as you can here coming to the line. Sam Bachman rips that outside. Drops the hammer, and we're back underway. 15 laps to play at the Knoxville Raceway. Isaac Salas looking low. Sam left the door open, and Isaac trying to take advantage. Just can't get the run off the corner, and Brian Dickens trying to do the same here. to Mike Brewer as well. But Mike, oh, Brian's got to check up there as Brewer had to check up for the 5. Man, oh man, all of a sudden Clay Christopherson, he's got dreams of making a move here. He sends it in low. Clay Christopherson, not enough grip coming off the bottom in 2. As Isaac Salas gets upstairs, jumps the cushion. Mike Brewer not able to complete the pass this time, but man, oh boy, slide job! Isaac Salas through 1 and 2. Perfect counter from the 007, but now we call him slide job for a reason. He's got him right where he wants him. He may have to consider that move through 3 and 4 one more time. It didn't help him that much on entry, to jump in the cushion, but all that speed allowed him to throw a slide job, and he says, "The hell with you, Shaggy. I don't need that. I'll look back to the inside, side by side, going into 3 and 4. Sam looking to slide up a little bit, and Isaac knew it. He lifts out the throttle, goes underneath it. We got a new leader. 11 laps to play. Isaac jumps the cushion, or jumps the inside berm. They're side by side. Mike Brewer reeling those 2 in. We got a 3-car battle, possibly soon to be 4. What can Sam Bachman do downstairs this time? The answer is take the lead back. Isaac Salas sends it in upstairs. He sees the slide job. Can he counter back? Brewer not close enough. Sam gonna pinch him down. Isaac gets into that berm. That's gonna be enough. Didn't want to drive into the 007, and now he's got to put his head down. Oh my gosh, how did he get that run? Still side by side, but oh man, an amazing race up front. Spoiled by a caution. Looking like Superman Kurt Schatzer and Kelly Wheeler involved. Let's see if we can take a peek, find out what happened. Superman gets a big run on Brian Moore Sr. and just runs over that right rear. Definitely not close enough to blame Brian Moore Sr. on that one. He's already floating up, and at that point, you're running back towards the back. You don't want to if you're Kurt, trying to make up all the spots you can, but at some point, it falls on the driver to back out of this, and you can see on the nose. Just wasn't there, gets into the right rear, up into the wall, Contact from behind, contact again. 218 at Kurt Schatzer. Gonna have to wish him some better luck here in the big block next, as Sam Bachman still out front. But Isaac Salas, man, he may be up for the task. He's running hard. We've seen battle after battle between these front 3. Does Mike Brewer, maybe steal this one? Do those guys up front make some contact? Does Brian Dickens find a way through this whole mess and get himself on the podium after a good start to his night? Run up towards the front in his heat, start 4th. Continue to stay 4th, but got 3 hot rods in front of you, so not like the 122's having a bad night. They're just some quick cars out there. Clay Christopherson, he's gotten himself up into the top 5, as we've mentioned, but he's stalled out since getting to 5th. See, Sam there rips the outside, gets ready to drop the hammer. He does. Great restart, but also good jump there from the 5 of Isaac Salas. Very important to hang with the 7 of Sam Bachman, and he's able to do just that as we roll down the backstretch. Sam low, Isaac high. What's it look like for the 5 coming to the line? Do we get another slide jump? I guarantee we do. He sends it in. Not enough to shut the door. Sam Bachman's still there, but they're going to be side by side, beating and banging. Sam gets a little loose coming off corner exit. He may think the 5 roughed him up, but to me, looked like he lost that a little bit, came down, but either way, good hard racing in the modifieds. Isaac trying to go up and shut the door. Sam gonna stick that nose back in there, and man, Isaac allowing him to continue running that high side. I thought we'd get a little door shut. Side by side coming to the line. Isaac Salas blinking a little bit. There we go. He's back up front, but that probably caught Sam by surprise. And now, as far as I'm concerned, if Isaac wins this thing, is it tainted? Hell no. He's had a quick race car, but I'm sure in that FTM Discord they're not happy about that blink. But hey, man, that's the wonders of internet racing. Crap happens. 5 laps to play, and we got a new leader. The 5 of Isaac Salas. Brian Dickens hanging around there in P4. He hasn't let those top 3 get away, but hasn't necessarily stayed right with them. But the same with the 051 of putt-putt, Clay Christopherson. He's trying to do it low. Maybe not where you want to be, but Sam Bachman, here he goes. He shook off the cobwebs. He's right back all over the 5 of Isaac Salas. He takes a peek, gives him a little nudge there in the center of the corner. 3 laps to go at the Knoxville Raceway. Whoa, bumper to bumper, rolling off 2. Look at that. Who's it going to be through 3 and 4? Sam is just excellent on that corner entry when he's behind the other car. Wasn't nailing it when he was out front, but clearly the better car through 3 and 4 these last 2 laps. But Isaac doing enough, just able to shut that door that it's not becoming a burden to him just yet. As Brewer, he sends it in. He's trying for one last hurrah, but the white flag flies. One more trip around the Knoxville Raceway. Isaac going upstairs, going to protect Sam Bachman, trying to get one last final run. Can he make a move? Isaac shuts the door down low. Sam clips the berm, and with that, you got to think it's going to be over. The checkered flag wave, slide job gets it done at the Knoxville Raceway, followed by Sam Bachman, Mike Brewer on the podium, Brian Dickens, and Clay Christopherson. Your top 5 here at the Knoxville Raceway for your Full Throttle Motorsports Venom Racing 358 Modifieds. What do? The teams that came together to sponsor this league so Shaggy could broadcast it this season, steal another podium. And look, we happen to get a little shot of the Shaggy TV there on the inside of Isaac's car. He's repping for your boy before he has that disappear. Let's see here. We'll rewind this. Give the drivers a minute or 2 to catch their breath and get to play a little get to know you here with the 390 of Mike Brewer. Like you say, haven't talked to this man. I've heard about him from his teammates. Definitely an exciting addition to the league here, coast to coast. And I imagine this is going to be the first of many for Mike Brewer. There's nobody up in the waiting room yet, so just going to give them a minute or 2 here. We do have Isaac down in his team Discord, but I'm not going to steal the leader first. That's not how I like to do things. And still waiting, I promise. Taking a look there over at that Discord. As soon as we see Mike Brewer or Sam Bachman pop up here, I'm willing to do second first. I just don't want to backtrack that far. Well, now Sam, okay, good. Mike came in. I was going to say, Sam's calling my bluff. He joined in first, but
fun.
It looks like I will get to talk to this man. Mike, I've heard a lot about you, brother, from Dino and your other FTM teammates, and man, I mentioned in the pre-race show, you were looking good. I said I hadn't had a chance to talk to you. I was hoping I'd get to this evening. Man, you answered the bell. You look good, but it just seemed like, with those two battling so hard in front of you, what can you really do? You don't want to go in there and wreck those two, but you had a hell of a show in front of you.
Oh, that was a lot of fun to watch, and good racing. Sam and Isaac there. I tried to hold them off, but I got a front row seat to what I think was the best battle on the track. I just was trying to figure out how I could get around them, and I don't know, as the race went on there, they just started to pull away because I was searching, so I was trying to find that better line, and while I was doing that, they just started to pull away.
Now, obviously, one of those drivers in front of you, your teammate, but how much are you wishing deep down inside those two rub a little much, opened the door for that 39 to go on by. I mean, did you think you stood a chance at that happening? They were racing pretty dang hard.
Oh, absolutely. If didn't get involved in it, you know what I mean? But I would have definitely tried to capitalize on that for sure.
Well, Mike, I mean, every FTM driver, they've got their preference for sure of cars. But what's going to be yours? What's your favorite car to come out and play with?
Definitely the big blocks. These 358s they're okay on a smaller track, but track like this, you're just hammered down. It just not enough power.
Yeah, and that leads to my next point here before I let you do the roll call and thank your sponsors. I like to ask you guys, with it being the Knoxville Raceway, though, is there any even thought at leaving the 358 out of the trailer? Or are we all going to roll out in a big block here this evening?
Definitely. I'm going big block for sure. So I can't speak for the rest of the guys, but yep, this is gonna go back in the trailer, and we're gonna come out and play with the big car.
Well, hey, man, hell of a run tonight. Started third. You said it yourself. You had one of the best shows on the racetrack. It's a shame you couldn't sneak on by, but congratulations on the P3, Mike. Who you want to thank, brother?
You guys for putting this on. The guys over there at Full Throttle Motorsports, been racing with those guys and against them for a long time. And then they contacted me this week and asked me if I'd want to join the team, and that was a no-brainer because a great group of guys over there. Love racing against them, so I just feel honored that they brought me aboard. So, coast to coast racing, bringing me back. I was in there a couple of years ago. Great program, great broadcast, just all across the board. It's a lot of fun. So,
well, hey, hell of a run, man. And considering this isn't your cup of tea, I'm looking forward to see what you can do in the big blocks here. I'm wishing you luck, brother. Give him hell.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Mike Brewer, your P3 finisher. And now we're going to bring up his teammate there in the 007, Sam Bachman. Now, Sam, I mean, you can't do much better than a P2, especially with that point lead. I mean, how are we feeling after tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. It was definitely a fun race. Me and Isaac giving friendly doors out and tight racing. I had a lot of fun.
Now, I mean, it's one of those things, and Sam, I mean it. You're 12 times the driver that I am, if not 100. So this is not a shot at you, but I could see the difference there. So you're clearly, when Isaac's running you down, you were missing 3 and 4 a little bit. But boy, once he got around you, man, it looked like you were that fastest car on the racetrack again, but you just couldn't find a way around. How tough was it to pass here tonight?
It was pretty hard. I mean, you pretty much just had to prey on a little mistake and try to get under them or get around them anyway. But yeah, it's pretty hard passing here. You just gotta hope for a little mistake, I guess.
Now, obviously, I mean, you guys, no short on your paints, but is this a little new scheme? I know you run the black and red, but this one's a little different, isn't it?
I've had this one. I always switch them out or whatever. I've been running this for a couple weeks now, though.
Oh, man, you're making me look bad, but that thing looks damn good. Did DJ paint that thing for you?
Oh, actually, Redline Designs did.
Oh, okay. Well, now you got to lay down the challenge to DJ. You got to tell him you got to do something a little better than this now. This thing looked good, but it would have looked a lot better at the top. But I know you're out here points racing, Sam. That's what it's about, man. You add up all these podiums, and I think you might have a trophy arrive in the mail at the end of this season. Good run here tonight, man. Who you want to thank?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard for the dig. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Shaggy you for doing the broadcast, Coast to Coast, and Mike and Isaac for good race.
Hey, heck of a run, Sam. You treated us to a good one, and I know you're even better in the big block. So let's see what that 007 can do here next time out. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Your point leader and P2 finisher, Sam Bachman. But now we bring up the man who, Isaac, now back in 15th, okay, Greg Parmalee, we know the deal. He started 20, let me do some math here, 23rd. He gets 8 guys, okay? You're the next highest hard charger, man, 5 spots, and you got to pass the 5 quickest guys on the racetrack. You made it look pretty damn easy, man. That thing was quick tonight. How'd it feel?
No, it wasn't easy. I can tell you that. It was we were way too even with those boys. It's kind of crazy how fast they've gotten.
Yeah, now
fun though.
I mean, this isn't picking on you. I told the same thing to Sam. when you're running around there, P2, man, you are clearly the quickest guy through 3 and 4. I mean, you're reeling him in every time, and then, well, you swap, and then you start missing the entry a little bit in 3, and he starts reeling you back in. How tough is it to be that lead car and just set the pace here?
Man, it's brutal. I finally transitioned to running no mirror with the VR. And so
Better
it's,
man than me.
trying to get a lot more realism in here. So it makes it that much more like authentic, and you don't really know if he's running the same line anymore or if he's like faster, slower, anything of the sort. And so you kind of start to like, I don't know, almost mentally miss, because every once in a while you just like hear you hear him on the outside or the inside. You're like, oh, am I like messing up, or am I in the slow lane now? And so you start to kind of play a little guessing game, and then you get off your game basically, and not hit your marks as well as you should be. So it was a lot of fun though.
Now, obviously, I mean, it kind of helped you get it done in the long run. But before that last caution came out, you guys are throwing slide jobs back and forth, back and forth. You get a run there going down the backstretch, but he cuts underneath you, and man, you swing it in higher than I've ever seen anyone do in 3 and 4. You jump that cushion. But the run off the corner, man, that's what allowed you for that slide job. Were you surprised by that coming off of 4?
Honestly, not really. Nobody runs that high in 3 and 4, so there's never a cushion like I want there to be. Like if you ever see me in 1 and 2, I'm way higher than 3 and 4, just because nobody ever gets out that high in 3 and 4 for some reason. And I knew if I hit it right, or even like slightly right, I'd be kind of close to Sam. And one of the it set me up perfectly, and then I'm pretty sure I decided to like smoke the inside berm on that time. So we made the slider work, but I lost a little bit too much momentum.
Well, Isaac, at the end of the day, man, you had a quick race car, started 6th, couldn't go any higher than 1st. So can't give you the hard charger, but pretty dang close, man. Congratulations on a hell of a run. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Zach. It's a lot of fun. It's good to knock these FTM guys off the podium every once in a while. Top step. It's been seeing too many of them logos here lately, so it was fun.
Yeah, now you got a new one on the podium with you, man. Mike Brewer. You got a new FTM guy in the show.
Dude, I was like, golly, guys, come on, you're making it harder every week on me. It feels like so. But yeah, so big shout out to like Venom Racing. It was it's fun to. Butters had a great run on Monday. And I think the luck has just like, oh, you got one good race on Monday? Yeah, no. So the rest of the week has been tough for him. But yeah, so, big shout out to them. Dean, the Super Dirt Car Series, Magnum Race Designs, JRB Designs for that awesome scheme I got on. RSN Trackside, Mission 22, Todd Knotts Truck with my Gramps. Shaggy TV with you, sir. Regency Home Inspections. Mom, Dad for watching. All my friends and all my fans, yeah, sure. My friends and family for watching. And then big shout out to Kelser. She's at work right now, so watching from work is always a great thing. And now, thanks to Coast to Coast, everyone is here. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll see if I can go battle Sam for another win. It was a lot of fun to battle Sam side by side.
You may have a lot of fans tuning in tonight. We got 30 people over on the Coast to Coast side and like 15 between my 2 pages. So you may have.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of people out there watching tonight. But
I don't got Galen popcorn, but I do have some salsa if you guys are interested.
Yeah, there we go. Well, congratulations, Salsa. Big win here, man, and hopefully I'm talking to you after the big blocks, brother.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Zach.
And now we're going to step away real quick. We may not get through all the ads here tonight. You see, it's already 8:01 Eastern. I'll see whenever I roll into the next session. If they're qualifying, we'll cut the ad short, hop in and watch qualifying. But until then, stick around and we'll be right back with a little big block modified action here at the Knoxville Raceway, presented by Atlantic Management Resources.
it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a
hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, excuse me, with your Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modifieds here at the Knoxville Raceway. And well, I'll tell you what, I don't expect to see any small blocks out here. Maybe we get 1 or 2, but oh man, good luck making the show here. We got 26 guys on the ticket tonight. 24 make the show, so we will have a B main. 2 guys going home at the moment. Make that 3 as Kyle Root gets into the session. So you don't see Clay Christopherson or Kyle Root on the timesheet. But they will be 26 and 27. Here. See, we got maybe another minute or 2. I doubt it, though. Probably, for those of you that don't know, just because I have to take a peek over and make sure it's live. I'm about in real lifetime, I want to say 19 and a half seconds ahead. So normally, you know, when they see me pull it up here, they let it go a minute, roll it over. I know we got the Pro Late models up next. I saw that session is already open, so they won't want to have to make another one of those, and I think that ends in about an hour. So we'll hope to get this one in time. If not, we'll create another session. No harm, no foul. They'll figure it out. Right now, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. It's going to roll, and I was looking. There is nobody else hopped in, so we should have that 27 people on the list here. Not too sure how many we'll put in a lap. Let's see. No surprise to anyone if you pay attention. This guy is almost always the first one out on the racetrack. I say it every time. Shaggy, shut up. But here we are. Brandon Templeton rolls the high side through 3 and 4, looking to bring as much speed to that start-finish line as he can here for the start of lap number 1. Going to look to the inside. Lots of grip left on this racetrack. 358 modifieds. Had a lot of practice in it. You know, we saw that race run a little longer. So not as many guys out here practicing for as long, and we'll see the racetrack have a little more speed than that 358 modified race to start out with. And Brandon Templeton with a 19.24 didn't last long here, sinking like a stone. Randall Dixon takes that over in the 0-1-1. Jason Butterfield P4 for now as some guys come back in, hammer it. Brandon Templeton comes back with a zinger. P2 for now. Randall Dixon, does he improve? No, he's going to stay P4. Mike Brewer in the 390. He's your quick time currently. Does he improve second time around? No, but he's still got that seat at the top. Is putt-putt Clay Christopherson rolling around. Can he dethrone the teammate? What's the lap time look like for putt-putt? No, but Sam Bachman going to roll in right behind him. Going to park that thing P6, the 007 of Sam Bachman. Rolling around. What can he do quicker through Sector 1? But you see that purple for Isaac through Sector 1. Purple for Sam Sector 2. What does this mean? Sammy P2 and Isaac Salas. Oh, not able to complete that lap in time. You see a change from white, got caught sleeping, wasn't out there in qualifying, and man, tough break for the 5 of Slide Job Isaac Salas. And what the heck was that? That was really awkward. Scott Rayom just hanging out off the screen like that. Don't know what that was about. Running out the field, heat race number 1 on the outside of row number 5, the 27 of Kyle Root. Into his inside, the 99 of the Dark Knight, Gavin Shadow. Row number 4 on the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Into his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 3 on the outside, your 358 modified feature winner, Isaac Salas. Into his inside, the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Row number 4 to the outside, your pole winner in the 390, Mike Brewer. Into his inside, his teammate in the 444, Scott Rayom. Row number 1 for heat race number 1, presented by Atlantic Management Resources. On the outside, the 32 of the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And starting on the pole, the 397 of the Canadian, Alex Pomerleau. We roll around here through 3 and 4. Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay at the Knoxville Raceway. Heat race number 1 underway. Scott Rayom with a good jump there in that 444, but just slipped up a little bit on exit. Now Mike Brewer, his teammate on the outside, trying to come back. And Isaac trying to hitch a ride on that outside, but right now, based off those qualifying times, I think you want a combination. You know, you want to get to that apex, hit the inside of the corner, but you need to float up on exit. If you're pinched down on exit, you're just not going to have that speed coming off the corner. And we're watching slide job drive right around the outside of the 444. Scott Rayom taking advantage of that, running that middle line, not letting Scott float up. And Isaac Salas able to drop 2 FTM drivers in his mirror. Can he make it 2 more as he's in the middle of an FTM sandwich? But Anthony Morano goes to the outside for the lead. We're 3 wide. The Canadian pinches Mike Brewer down. That's going to alleviate 3rd place. The slide job. And Salsa moves on up. Started 6th, up to 3rd. Mike Brewer trying to come back at his teammate. He knows only 4 guys make this show. And right now, Scott Rayom's taking that last ticket over. They get real close. 4 to go. We're halfway. Isaac looking to find something. Oh boy, not going to be easy. Alex right in the tracks of that 32, trying to find that quick way around, mirror the Ant-Man, and he's picked up a little bit of time. The Canadian Alex Pomerleau, since doing that, getting a free driving lesson right now in the 397. And you know, in these heat races, that was seriously always my attitude. As long as you're in a transfer spot, just let that quicker guy go and learn something. I mean, some of them, it's pretty ridiculous, but some of these freaking guys who think they're A+ on dirt are charging $50 an hour for lessons, and there you are getting one up front from one of the best as Isaac Salas and the Canadian Alex Pomerleau make contact, and Salsa falling on down as the white flag flies. Anthony Morano looking to sail off into the sunset. As we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time, Anthony Morano sees the checkered flag, and Anthony Morano, Scott Rayom, Dean Reynolds, and Alex Pomerleau punch their ticket. Mike Brewer, Randy Shreves, Greg Parmalee, Gavin Chatham, and Isaac Salas to the B main. As we get ready for our starting lineup here, heat race number 2, rounding out the field in the 518, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy, right up the road, starting on the outside of row number 4, the 247 of Michael Vecchio, into his inside, the 43 of Scott Zeneker. Row number 3 on the outside, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr., and to his inside, the librarian in the 41, Pat Boyce. Row number 2 to the outside, the 007 of Sam Bachman, and to his inside, the 011 of Randall Dixon. Row number 1, starting on the outside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield, and starting on the pole, the 213 of Michael Vitale. And like clockwork, that stacks over each other. And like clockwork, I hurry to click refresh and try to make it all look okay again. It works out. Drivers roll off a 3 and 4. The green flag is high. 8 laps to play in the clay at the Knoxville Raceway. Heat race number 2 underway. And I couldn't tell, Scott Zeneker getting a little happy there in the back, maybe causing some confusion. Getting into the back of the 41 of Pat Boyce, he's able to get it under control. But Joseph Grandy, he gets run up the hill, and you see the 518 bounce off the outside wall. Michael Vitale taking control out front early as Jason Butterfield's stalking him in the P2 position. But here comes the 007. Qualified P2 this evening with the invert. Starts 4th, heat race number 2. Can Bachman find a way to cut his way on up through the field? Problem is, can't really throw a slide job right now. Yeah, you got to keep it down. Oh boy, Butters stuck his nose in there, and well, I know nobody wants to go watch this thing and listen to the dumb broadcaster give his 2 cents, but I give it anyway. not the time to stick your nose there in the middle and make it 3 wide. Not when the 007's the quicker car on the racetrack and you've been struggling to find a way by the 213. You got to know it's coming. And I love Butters, great racer, but that's one of the times where, you know, you're just getting a little too greedy in the early stages. You find yourself in a transfer spot in the show, and now you're on the outside looking in. Big hill to climb. Gonna be wishing he did the latter of those 2 decisions, but Sam Bachman out front looking to get 3 to go. As you see your front 4, those are going to be your transfer as long as they behave. Joseph Grandy, he was getting bounced around in the beginning in the back. We watched him go off the backstretch wall lap number 1. He hasn't let it phase him too bad. Started 9th, up to 6th, and if he has his way, I think he might get one more from the 247 of Michael Vecchio, but Vecchio doing a good job of taking that race line and making it difficult for the 518 to get around. As we roll through 3 and 4. That flagman reaching down. He's got it. He's waving. He's excited. One more trip around the Knoxville Raceway. Michael Vitale stayed with the 007, but just isn't close enough for one last final move. He'll behave himself as you see the top 3. Now Brian Moore Sr. creeping in. Checkered flag waves, and Sam Bachman, Michael Vitale, Randall Dixon, and Brian Moore Sr. punch their ticket. Michael Vecchio, Joseph Grandy, Pat Boyce, Scott Seneca, and Jason Butterfield to the B main. As we take a look at our starting grid for our 3rd and final heat race, I have no idea why it's playing Disappearo like that. That's hilarious. I have to click down a couple times. There we go to get that to show up. But starting all by himself there, the inside of row number 5 in that 099, that's Glenn Sharp. Right up the road, row number 4 on the outside, the 271 of Sean Green. And is inside the 21 of Blackjack John Tobias. Row number 3 to the outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And is inside the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer. Row number 2 on that outside, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. And to his inside, the 051 of Putt-Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row number 1 for your 3rd and final heat race at the Knoxville Raceway in the AMR Big Block Modifieds. On the outside, the Deuce of Harold Klumpin. Starting on the pole, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. Heat race number 3 is underway. I'm going to just start doing that in the background every time and just assume it's coming here. But boy, they're running side by side. The 051 of Clay Christopherson trying to take a peek. There he goes low and slow. That opens the door for B-Temp. Kurt Schatzer. That's a case of he could have done what Butters did. Could have stuck in the middle 3 wide. Thought best of it. Lifted out of it. Now you're going to see him live to race another day. And, well, a case of Clay Christopherson right in front. He makes it 3 wide. He gets into the 31. Then he throws a slide job. Jeff Barker becomes the beneficiary of that move. And, well, boy, if the 31 can get to the back of the 051, he may not be a happy camper. Involved in a little mix-up with an FTM driver last night. And they had just seen another one there, but 5 laps to play, and the Philly Flyer out front leading the way. Harold Klump doing a good job of keeping pace there, P2. Not close enough to make a move, but, hasn't really fallen off that cliff. He's hanging out. If Trevor jumps the cushion, makes a mistake, it would be easy to come back at him as they send it through 1. Look at B-Temp going low. B-Temp looking low, moves on up. Not just yet. Superman, I thought he was going to get in the wall and lose the spot. He bounces off the wall, but able to maintain for now as the Dirt Track Bank Media sponsors, or not, why did I say media? That's no media. That's their bank. I'm an idiot. But look at that. I mean, they're racing side by side. And the media company on the front, the Got Your Six Racing Network, run by my man Joe Halter. He's got to be loving seeing these guys racing hard, but the tough thing is only one of them going to make the show here. They're racing for 4th and 5th. Only the top 4 transfer. Other one's going to have to go to the B main, but as the Philly Flyer rolls off of 4, the white flag flies, and we've got one more trip around. Trevor started out front, looking to finish there. Absolutely nailed the invert and has just drove off into the sunset. And the Philly Flyer watches the checkered flag wave. He's going to win heat race number 3. Harold Klump, Clay Christopherson, and Kurt Schatzer just edges out Brandon Templeton for that final transfer spot. So Brandon Templeton, Sean Green, John Tobias, Jeff Barker, and Glenn Sharp to the B main. Now, let's take a look here at our starting lineup. For tonight's B main, we have 16 cars, 12 making the show. Starting on the outside of row number 8 in that 27, Kyle Root. Into his inside, the 099 of Glenn Sharp. Row number 7 on the outside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield. And to his inside, the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. Row number 6 to the outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And up into his inside, the 43 of Scott Zeneker. Row number 5 on the top shelf, the 99 of the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. And to his inside, the 21 of Blackjack, John Tobias. Row number 4 to the outside, the Librarian, Pat Boyce. And to his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 3 to the outside, the 271 of Sean Green. Into his inside, the 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row number 2 to the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Into his inside, the 31 of B10, Brandon Templeton. Row number 1 for your B main on the outside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio. And starting up front, the 390 of Mike Brewer. As well, I hustled up there at the end for no reason. We're going to go around one more time. Just after this B main, we'll take a short break, and then we'll be back with your Atlantic Management 350 or Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modified Feature event. But right after this, we got the Pro Late models coming up next, presented to you by Travis Piercefield and Extreme eSpeed TV. So don't go anywhere. You're going to want to stick around for that one. And I don't know how Dean was running 6th. I just saw that. My apologies for the late reaction. But the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 10 laps to play in the clay. And punch your ticket at the Knoxville Raceway. Top 12. Who's it going to be? Let's take a look here at that battle for 12th. It's going back and forth between, well, Scott Zeneker gets in the outside wall, and all of a sudden, Slide Job, Isaac Salas. Where did he come from, to be honest? Oh my gosh, I let that slip my mind. Oh, Zeneker flies in there after the 513 of Jeff Barker had gotten into someone had to check up. And boy, oh boy, I don't know how Barker kept that thing straight. Meanwhile, this is the top 3. They're behaving. And then just look back here. It's a nest. You don't want to be in here. Butters, he's 13th. He's that guy on the outside looking in. 2 drivers didn't make the call, Glenn Sharp and Kyle Root. So only 2 cars really that were on the racetrack not making it. And right now, Scott Zeneker looking to be one of them after that contact. So Jeff Barker sitting 13th. Can the Brewerton Beast race his way back up into the show? Plenty of time to do it. Takes a long time to get around the Knoxville Raceway. And Isaac, he doesn't want to get too aggressive. He knows he's in the show, but not going to have a lot of laps in the feature to move his way on up towards the front. So needs to get as many of those guys as he can now. And Isaac setting that thing sailing up on the outside. And well, Butters, you saw clicked the wrong guy, but Butters there. You see how smart he's racing now. I know it's not fun running here in the back, but he put himself there, you know, with that mistake, and now we're riding off the nose. He's lifting, not putting himself in crazy spots. And here he goes with 5 laps to go. He just needs a little slight opening, little crack in that door to make a move. Is Tobias looking to the outside of the 247 of Michael Vecchio. Michael doesn't want to be back here with these guys. He doesn't want to fall victim to not making the feature, but Jeff Barker working to the inside, able to move on up to the front of Blackjack. He's backing up those corners. He's getting good speed on exit till he gets the commentator's curse, loses the rear end, and now with 3 to go, the Brewerton Beast sitting P13 at the line. Can he find a way to recover here? Needs to nail 3 and 4. Bottom looks like it's starting to go away if you're aggressive on entry. And now Butter says, Shaggy, there's 2 to go, man. I got to get myself in this show. I'm going 3 wide. The 93 to the middle. Trying to punch his way on in. He gets into it with the 3. Tobias tries to hang on to it. He gets into the 247 of Michael Vecchio. Barker in the outside wall, and the white flag's out for your leaders. Who is going to win this battle of the line for P13 as their leaders going through 3 and 4? Checkered flag waves. Brennan Templeton, Mike Brewer, Joseph Grandy, Randy Shreves, Greg Parpley, Pat Boyce, Isaac Salas, Sean Green, Gavin Chatham, Jason Butterfield, Michael Vecchio, and John Tobias punched their ticket. Jeff Barker, Scott Zeneker, Kyle Root. And, well, we advanced. I didn't see the last one. Good luck next week. Tough break. But we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we'll be right back with your Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modified Features. Stick around. We're back live as warm-ups come to a close. Sam Bachman, Kurt Schatzer, Dean Reynolds, Joseph Grandy, Anthony Morano, your top 5 here in warm-ups. As we get ready to roll into tonight's main event, let's take a look at our starting lineup for tonight's Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modifieds. Rounding out the field on the outside of row number 12 in the 21, that's Blackjack John Tobias, and to his inside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio. Got a little click happy. Outside of row number 11, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield, and to his inside, the Dark Knight, the 99, Gavin Chatham. And well, now I click the mega jump button. We're going to get this right. Row number 10 on the outside, the 271 of Sean Green, and to his inside, the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. Row number 9 on that top shelf, the 41 of the librarian Pat Boyce, and to his inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 8 on the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves, and to his inside, the 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row number 7 on the outside, the 390 of Mike Brewer, and to his inside, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Row number 6 on the outside, the 218 of Superman, Kurt Schatzer, and lined up to his inside, the 055 of Mr. Wednesday Night, Brian Moore Sr. Row number 5 on the outside, the 397 of the Canadian Alex Pomerleau, lined up to his inside, the 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row number 4 to the outside in the 011, Randall Dixon, and lined up to his inside in the 79, Dean Reynolds. Row number 3 on the top shelf, the Deuce of Harold Klump, and to his inside, the 213 of Michael Vitale. Row number 2 to the outside, the 444 of Scott Rayome, and lined up to his inside, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Starting on the pole for your Atlantic Management, starting on the front row for your Atlantic Management Resources Big Block Modifieds here at the Knoxville Raceway, to the outside, the 007 of Sam Bachman. And starting on the pole, the 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 30 laps to play in the clay at the Knoxville Raceway. Your Big Block Modified feature is underway. As the fireworks go off there, going down the backstretch, we're running 3 wide throughout the field. Let's see here if we can give you a little taste of that. We'll watch it coming down the front stretch here if I can find my starter camera. I mean, look at them branching out, bouncing off the wall. Still 2x2 racing hard. Dino looking to make it 3 wide on the top shelf. His teammates start to battle for the lead. Sam Bachman trying to get to the inside of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Anthony not going to make it easy. You know, he's defending champ for a reason in these things, and going to need to get that thing wide. Maybe make Sam struggle a little bit, but Putt Putt drives up over the berm, and we got a slide job for the lead. Only on lap 3 here as we come to lap number 4. Anthony slides up. Sam comes back for more. But Brandon Templeton and Mike Brewer involved in our first caution of the evening here at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. So Templeton comes up over the right rear of the 055. Just gets a big run as Brian's coming up. And Mike Brewer, he's the one who pays for this. Slides on his side the whole length of the front stretch. Gets a shot there from Green. Up and over the 31, rolls again. Does Brewer land on his wheels? That is the question, and we cannot click away until we get an answer. We could speed it up, though. Oh, ridiculous. Lands on the side. after all that tough break, Mike Brewer going to have to tow, not going to be able to drive it down pit road. And if you don't tow right away here at Knoxville, you're in trouble. You know, this is one of the tracks where if you realize you're in a bad spot and the caution's already out, just tow that thing. Get yourself back to pit road with a longer racetrack. The tow time's not going to hurt you, and you can get back on the lead lap. But right now, not an option for Brewer. Stuck on his side there, and after a good run in the 358s, have to look for a big rebound. And right now, a couple drivers up 3 spots. Randy Shreves, Pat Boyce, Sean Green, Jason Butterfield, John Tobias as well, but nobody else up any more than 3 spots. Not an easy racetrack to pass at. And you're going to need some guys in front of you to make mistakes. Especially, you know, if you find yourself, not that the 075 right now is the fastest car on the racetrack, but just like him or the 2, where you're there in 4th and 5th, you know, 6th. You got a line of cars in front of you. It doesn't matter how fast you are, because you got to do it on the bottom. You won't be able to throw a slide job. There's no lane for you to fit in. It's a lot easier for these guys on that front row to battle. And I imagine the Ant-Man's going to try to get as good of a jump here as we can as we go back to green. He does just that. And Scott Rayome looking to take advantage of his teammate maybe sleeping a little bit upstairs. And now Sam Bachman, he takes a peek down low, and Scott Rayome's down there trying to hammer it a little bit. Sam thought about pinching him down. Scott wasn't going to let him. He floated in there in the middle, and he said, "Goodbye, Sam." Full Throttle Motorsports top 3. Dean Reynolds trying to get up there and join the party in that 79 machine, and he's bringing the 51 along, but Sam Bachman and Scott Rayome make a little bit of contact. Dean Reynolds tries to take advantage, but Trevor Giroux, he's the one who pays for it down 5, maybe 6 spots here coming to the line as him and Randall Dixon beating and banging for 7th and 8th. Scott Rayome firmly in P2 now after that little battle between him and Sam Bachman. But now Harold Klump, look at this man in the deuce. Not very often we see him up on the podium, and well, Shaggy, you jinxed him. Gets into that outside wall. Dino going to throw the slide job. He said, "Welcome another FTM driver to the top 4. Oh, Clay Christopherson looking to make it an FTM top 5. And boy, oh boy, the drinks will be flowing in pit road if they can hold these spots here. But Sam Bachman, he sure as heck doesn't want to hold it. He looks back to the inside of the 4 as Scott Rayome trying to make that battle for P2 as Superman contact in the back. Isaac Salas involved. Cars go around. Sean Green ends up being the one bringing out the caution. Let's see if we can try and diagnose what happened. Well, it might help if I click on the right thing. Sorry, the scroll moves. I clicked on Pat Boyce by accident. Let's follow that 271 of Sean Green, and we caught the end of it. Not too sure. So it already does happen way up the road, but it doesn't. The software wants to blame Sean Green. We see that it isn't Sean Green. We'll go up to where we think it started. We see Isaac. He gets into trouble. So Randall Dixon just floats up, gets into the outside, gets into the inside of him, runs him up in the outside wall, and he does a 360, gets pounded again from the 011. That one puts him on his side. Sean Green just comes in there hammered down. He gets into the back of Randall Dixon, and Randall hard into the outside wall. You got to think that right front's damaged. There it goes, rolling off. And maybe not the way Isaac intended, but he gets to hold on to his spot, not the caution. And, you know, not to play the blame game, but it looked like Randall maybe floated up a little bit. It's karma getting you there. I mean, he ends up getting tattooed in the rear end and up in the outside wall. Got to go down pit road. Use the quick repair. Now Sam Bachman, he's got to take advantage of this inside starting spot. He's got to try to work over his teammate there in the 444, Scott Rayome, who's able to use the inside starting spot to his advantage to work on by. Sam going to have to see if he can return that favor and go play with the 32. Bachman. It's always quick, but man, Bachman, he likes to play the nice guy. It's just in him. He's never real aggressive. And good jump from the 32, able to slide up. But now Bachman, he knew what time it was. He goes down there. He nails 1 and 2. Finds the grip down there on entry. He's going to be side by side with Scott Rayome. He's easy slide job here if he wants it. Sends it in. He's going to float it up. He should have went with the short slider. Tried to drive it in a little too deep. You saw he would have got into the Ant-Man. And what I mean by short slider, slide up early in the corner. Sacrifice that entry speed for good exit speed rather than driving in deep. With good entry speed and slow exit speed, he could have done that this time. But Sam Bachman, I told you, dude doesn't have a mean bone in his body. And he's playing the nice guy down low, and it's going to hold him off from P2 one more lap. If he wants to go up and win this thing, you know the saying, nice guys finish last. He's going to have to get aggressive. As Kurt Schatzer, we see him bouncing around. Isaac on the inside. Cars going all around. Dodge, duck, dip, diving, and dodging. Oh, man, we stay green. Battle still on for P2. Don't want to click this thing away. Here, I had to take a peek. Now, Sam, he realized, hey, you know what? Green Day's right. Nice guys do finish last. Time to go. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, and then he gets pounced on again. Oh, boy, the 007 of Sam Bachman. Man, oh man, that is a tough break, and I think the right front was destroyed, and Sam's just going to reach over, shut that computer off, call it a night, and I'll tell you, you can't really blame him. He played the nice guy there, and ends up getting pounced, and you know, that's one of the things that I hate to play devil's advocate and pick on that team right now, but it's the reality of, you know, I've been on teams like that before. Not to say all of us at Gambler aren't good, but man, we're at a little different stages. I'm one of the younger guys on the team. They're all older, you know, don't have to be as competitive, but you got teammates, man, running up at the front all the time, and you're going to have incidences. This is what causes it. Kurt Schatzer gets into the 213. Vitaly, the right front was broke. He ended up coasting around. But we got to take a look, man. This is tough for Sam. Let's go up top. Scott didn't come up that much, you know. I mean, Sam, he comes down off the wall a little bit. I mean, Scott, I say he didn't come up that much. You know, he clearly does come up. You can see him coming up. But you're used to being able to float up a little bit, but just, you know, gives his teammate nowhere to go. And Sam Bachman, got to be a lot of emotions going through that 007 right now. That's for sure. Is, you know, we take a look at the points. Sam Bachman was running P3, and he was battling with Anthony Morano and Clay Christopherson, his two other teammates. You got to think this tough race, not that it's out the window for him, but going to make it that much harder. As we roll off a 3 and 4 for the final time, Anthony Morano leads us to the green flag. We had a FTM top 5 down to 4. Let's see if they can make it here. Plenty of time to go. And Anthony Morano blinking a little bit, and it's there. You see he comes back out front. But oh my gosh, man, almost lost another one. As we see, speaking of losing another one here, I think Isaac, he's blinking a little bit here in the back. See him dipping and diving. I think he had to go down there and repair that race car after getting some damage. That's a tough break for the 5. of Isaac Salas, but Dino, here he comes to 79, reeling in his teammate in the 444. Can Dino get aggressive here, move that 79 on up? Joseph Grandy, remember he was in that B main. He's got himself up 7 spots right behind him. The Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. Well, Shaggy, where did he start? 21st, up to 9th, up 12 spots. The dude is on the move, and Dean Reynolds trying to do the same here, but stuck in line. He's taking a peek every now and again. Just can't maintain momentum to get this run and get it done as Harold Klump moving on by the 51. The Deuce, man, he's got some speed here tonight. Harold Klump started 6th, running 4th. The Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, he started 3rd. He had sunk back quite early, trying to make up some of those spots. Oh, Kurt Schatzer gets a little bit of help there. We caught it at the top. Now they're bouncing all around the 055. He's going to go around Brian Moore Sr. And we do finally get the caution there. A little delayed, but definitely much needed. Let's go back and see here. I know it started with Kurt Schatzer because we saw him bounce off the wall there. So they're 3 wide. Trevor, you know, he's running his line. Kurt comes up, bounces up. As Clay's coming up in those 2 funnel, nowhere to go. From there, drivers stack up. Brian Moore Sr., he goes around in a circle. Alex Pomerleau involved. John Tobias gets a piece. And we're under caution for the 4th time here in the big block modifieds at the Knoxville Raceway. And well, just a heads up to drivers out there, you know, if you're running the late models, you're tuning into this stream. Looking at the time, don't hold me to this, but I would imagine we're going to have to create another session here. Anthony Morano, the man out front, leading the way. He's got 2 teammates behind him. And actually, I said 2 teammates behind him. What happened to Clay Christopherson? So Clay, this was right when the yellow came out. He must have already gotten into the wall, had some damage on that thing. Yeah, it's doing that where it's not bouncing. It looked like the right front shock maybe broke. Not too sure what happened, but Putt needing to come down pit road. He gives up his spot in the top 5. As we roll through 3 and 4 here for the final time, the green flag set to fly here at the Knoxville Raceway. 10 laps to go, 2/3 of the way through. Who's going to bring it home as Anthony Morano drops the hammer and we're back underway. Anthony Morano ripping that outside through 1 and 2, trying to carry as much steam as he can. Looking good out front already up to that 4/10 of a second lead, but Scott Rayom drives it in deep. You just see, though, it doesn't pay off. Drops down to almost 5/10 coming off corner exit. And you can drive it in there real hard, make up the time, but if you're not able to pick up that throttle and get it all back, you're doing yourself a disservice. Scott, he's going to go back, going to try to hammer that in, try to find a way. It's Joseph, Grandy, and Gavin Chatham. They keep moving their way on up through the field. As Dean Reynolds gets into the outside wall, they're 3 wide in front of him. Harold Klump looking to get himself onto the podium, but the Philly Flyer throws a slide job. Trevor Giroux moving on up. Here comes Harold Klump. Now, we all know it's no secret. I love that Philly Flyer, and boy, I'm rooting for him. But he gets a lot of podiums. Come on, Harold, as the car goes around. Jason Butterfield around in the back. And we are under caution for the 5th time here in the big block modified. See if we can try and diagnose what happened here with Butters. I saw him loop around coming off the corner. So Dino, he comes down off the wall. You know, that's what he's got to do. But Butters, he gets in the binders or gets into the back of Dino, shoots it around, gets into the side of the 397. And he loops it around. No contact with anyone else, I don't believe. But with the 360 spin, that's enough for the caution. Let's see here. Harold Klump, P4, your hard charger right now. Joseph or Grandy. Or actually, no, it may be Gavin Chatham, excuse me. It's going to be Gavin, actually. But you see the leaderboard's moving for you guys. It's moving for me, too. So, let's see. Gavin up 14 spots. Up to 7th. So, great run for the 99 of Gavin Chatham. And making me eat my words talking about how it's hard to pass now. You know, I mean, it is still hard to pass. I'll stand on that. He's had a little bit of help here. Lots of cautions in front of him up the road. But you still got to keep the nose clean. You got to stay out of it. And Gavin Chatham doing just that there in the 99. Great run for him as Anthony Morano. I think he'll see those lights come off. And the Steve King Foundation pace car this time, they are off. We're set to go back racing here at Knoxville. My apologies, I'm getting the hiccups here. I'm trying to mute this thing in between hiccups. Of course, we get to the end, and I guess that's when the nerves start jumping here. The hiccups show up. As we roll through 3 and 4, Steve King Foundation pace car is off, and Anthony Morano fires. We're back underway. 6 laps here at the Knoxville Raceway. Joseph Grandy with a big swing here. He's going to swing that hammer down low. The 518 going to move on up to P4. Now can he find a way to get on the podium? Got one more guy to pick off here, the 075 of the Philly Flyer. But he's doing just that. He's flying around. He's looking to get up here and prod the bear. He wants to battle these front two. And Scott Rayome, he's going to have to hold on because here come 2 quick drivers. Might be his best friend right now. Joseph Grandy peeking to the inside. That's going to limit what the Philly Flyer can do here. If Grandy can make a run. And, well, if Grandy hooks this thing up down here, he may have enough time to pick a couple guys off as he's low. He's got P3 on the Philly Flyer. And now the M-Man maybe peeking up in that mirror a little bit or getting some help from the 99 of Gavin Chatham. He's going to go down and shut the door. But he gives up what he was comfortable with. Scott Rayome now peeking to the outside. And sometimes you just got to run your race. And I'll tell you, I love these guys, but you got to call a spade a spade. Clearly getting a tip from a spotter or somebody behind him or that mirror saying, hey, the bottom's working, and now he finds himself in P3. Anthony Morano trying to swing to hang on. Scott Rayome in the outside wall, but Joseph Grandy takes the lead going down the backstretch with 2 to go. Battling hard for that final podium spot, but as the white flag flies, Joseph Grandy is your man out front. What's going to happen behind here? Gavin Chatham taking a peek. Trevor Giroux trying to swing back on that outside. But as we go through 3 and 4 for the final time, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy coming from the B-Main to win your AMR Block Modified feature at the Knoxville Raceway. Anthony Morano, Trevor Giroux rounds out the podium. Gavin Chatham and Scott Rayome, your top 5. Man, oh man, one of the drives of the season we've seen so far from the 518 of Joseph Grandy, who finds the bottom at the right time and absolutely steals it from the 32 of Anthony Morano. We're going to give these guys a minute or two to catch their breath. And we're going to get a word with the Philly Flyer first, Trevor Giroux. But man, oh man, what a race up front. Those guys put it on, and Trevor wasn't sure if he'd be able to hold on to that podium. Gets it back on the last lap from Gavin Chatham. And I think the Philly Flyer gonna be pretty happy with this one. Had connection issues in the 358s. Not able to finish the race, but able to finish this one as the Philly Flyer. Man, oh man, close race to the line there with Gavin. But you're able to hold on to third. Trevor, how we feeling, brother?
Honestly, pretty good. I mean, wasn't really sure if the old interwebs there was gonna hold up, but it did for the most part, I think. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we had a car to win tonight, but we had a fast car. Saw Grandy down there working the bottom. I said, "Holy smokes, that's nuts." I don't know where he came from. I'm pretty sure he joined the session late and then comes in. I don't even think he qualified. I could be wrong. Could be the 358s, but yeah, that was insane. I was debating on going to the bottom there, and I was like, nah, I just don't have the skill like them guys or the patience for that matter, to run the bottom like that. I stuck her to the top there and made it work.
Yeah, and I mean, patience was the key tonight, Trevor. I know you're maybe not too pumped about it, but you can see the way the cards worked out. Man, it's sitting up here in the booth. I see it time and time again. The drivers who were patient in the beginning of the race, man, they reaped the rewards. And going back to, I want to say, lap 3 or 4, man, a big mix-up in front of you. You got to get on the binders. You fall all the way back to 8th. What's going through your head at that moment?
Honestly, at that point, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, I'm just going to settle in here and see what happens. Let everyone, throw it out there and see what happens. Maybe get a couple spots and over through some wrecks and whatnot. But I mean, once I found the top there, I mean, like the very, very top, I was like, okay, now I kind of found something here and made it work and passed a few cars. And I think it was Vitali who got into me on accident there and got me pretty sideways. I thought I was spinning right there, to be honest. And I was like, oh no, but kept her straight. I think I lost a couple more spots there, and yeah, that top, man, it was nuts. It was honestly, I wasn't really expecting Knoxville to be like a 2-lane track. I mean, I would call it a 2-lane. Like the bottom was there, then you can make the top work. Like really awesome track tonight.
Yeah, definitely, man. And your definition, dude. You think that thing's going sideways, but you just settle down. You get back into your groove, man. And once again, parking this thing on the podium. Hell of a job for that 075. Congratulations, Trevor. Who you want to thank, man, before I kick you on out of here?
Just wanted to apologize first to Scotty there. He had such a fast car all night, and I hate to get into him, and I don't know if it sent him in the wall, but I definitely made some contact there with him on accident, and probably cost him a podium there. I just hate that for Scotty. I mean, I love Scotty to death. I talk to them guys almost every day, so I'll just apologize to Scotty there. And the other night, I just got to thank all the guys at Venom here. C2C for putting this stuff on. You, Shaggy, for doing all this stuff you do for us. I mean, it's awesome going back and listening to these races with you in the booth. Thank Big Tim Race Wraps, Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, RSN Trackside, and props to Anthony, Gavin, Scotty, Dean, like all those FTM guys. Always fast, night in, night out. Props to Grandy, hell of a run. Definitely want to thank those FTM guys again for going on that deal with us with the 358s to keep this stuff televised. So props to them guys.
Yeah, man, you guys put on an awesome show, and you said Joseph there with a great run. Understatement, coming from the B main and winning at Knoxville, dude. I didn't think you could do that, and the drive that he did to get by you guys, impressive. But Trevor, man, podiums win championships. Hell of a run, and hopefully we're seeing this 075 in the championship talks here at the end of the season. But good luck the rest of the way, brother.
Man, I hope so, Shaggy. Thank you. And one thing too, Grandy told me, he said he got his wheel fixed, so watch out. He's gonna be a force to be reckoned with here again.
Oh, geez. Good luck to the field.
Right, I know, right?
Hey, hell of a run, Trevor. Like I say, man, we know this ain't the last time I'm talking to you. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Shaggy.
The Philly Flyer bringing home P3, and now we're going to bring up the man who led most of the way. But, Anthony, okay, I want to get in your head for a little bit, and you can lie to me if you want, but we're coming down 3-4 laps to go, and I bet you a little birdie popped up in your ear, said, hey, the bottom's working. And was it just too tough to go down there and master it your first go round after hammering down the top the last couple laps?
Yeah, I think I got her a little hot, and it just didn't work out so good. So yeah, it's just you know, you'll have that, I guess. It felt really weird running the top, so, but didn't really have much of a choice there. I didn't feel comfortable running the middle of the bottom, so I just tried to hold on and do what I could do, and it wasn't my best. You know, usually I'm down on the bottom and kind of just dropped the ball a little bit, I think. Last thing I want to see was that last restart, because Gavin was telling me that Randy was coming on the bottom, and I tried to go down there. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you're one of the masters at hitting that bottom, and is it just, you know, a product of you're down there, you're doing something you're uncomfortable with on the outside? I mean, whether, you know, I mean, you admit it yourself. You're king on the bottom. I don't care what anyone says. One of the best we have, best I've seen. But you're up there, you're mastering the high side, and was it just, you know, your entry point, you know, maybe drove in a little too deep? Well, what's the difference with hitting the bottom?
Yeah, there's a little more brake involved and a little less throttle, that's for sure. Said if I was just trying to keep the car straight coming out of the corner on the top, I couldn't. The setup just felt weird. I was having a hard time getting the right rear to plant when I ran the bottom, so I just jumped to the top and ran up there the whole race. But just tried just to go down there and get something different and maybe find a little more speed, and just wasn't having it. So I don't know, maybe I cooked the tires a little bit running the top and that slider line. So that's what I'm going to chalk it up to, just being stupid and burning the tires up, and that's what it was.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, it says something about your talent level, Anthony, when I can hear you're disappointed after running P2, because, man, you got a big lead here in the series, and after another good run, man, you know what those podiums do. They add up the championships, and maybe not your season so far in the small blocks. I've seen you've been getting roughed around. Not really any of your doing, but, man, you're able to come out here, ring the bell once again in the big blocks, and after dominating most of it, bringing home a P2, man, that's nothing to hang your head about. Hell of a run, Anthony. Who you want to thank?
I want to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Super Dirt Car, High Mom Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Expert Installation, Castaway Flagstone, MDI TV, GripHack.com, Bowman's Designs, and hats off to Grandy, man. He ran a great race getting down there and running the bottom like that. I was first thing I said to him, I said, man, that was pretty impressive, because I couldn't do it. So big hats off to him. Say hi to Dino's girl, Megan. A big shout out to Scotty Rayom there for being Scotty and making my life hell with the Sherry jokes, because he thinks he's a funny guy. So love you, Scotty. I'll get back at you one of these days. But Shaggy, you for doing a broadcast, the AMR, and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, hell of a run, man. And like I say, dude, nothing to be disappointed about. I know it stings a little bit, man, but those P2s, they bring home trophies. Hell of a run, Anthony, and I look forward to a great rest of the season, brother.
All right, buddy. Hopefully I get to talk to you tomorrow night.
Sounds good, Anthony. And now we'll be pulling up your winner here in the 518. And man, oh man, Joe, I'm not kidding, man. That's the best drive of the season. You don't come from the B main at Knoxville in the big blocks and win a feature until you get in the car. I mean, how are you feeling, dude?
I feel good. Got my steering wheel fixed last night, so hopefully a little more of this coming on in the future.
Yeah, you know, coming back to that restart, and, you know, he's honest. I appreciate the hell out of him for it, but you're grooving on the bottom, and you see Anthony go down there and try it. You know, he's got a little birdie whispering to him that the bottom's coming, and what are you thinking? You know, I mean, he's so good at running the bottom. Were you surprised when he went down there, shut the door, and just made that mistake?
I knew he was gonna try it. 1 and 2 wasn't your typical bottom. You can go in there, hammer down, and there's a little bit of grip on the exit, so you didn't have to slow down completely like you normally do. 3 and 4 was like that, but 1 and 2 was where I was catching everybody, and I was surprised no one really tried it. They saw me coming, but yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not glued up to that rearview mirror, but there was one guy who stole the hard charger from you. I think he was the birdie Gavin Chatham, he got 17 guys. He was following you, man. You were surgical in the way you were passing people. You had to be smart. I mean, you know how chaotic it can get, all those cautions, but you're able to survive. Hell of a run, Joe. Run of the year, man. Congratulations on the win. Who you want to thank?
Appreciate it. Catalytic Recovery, West End Towing and Repair, EPI Industries, all the guys over at Inferno, Mad Rabbit, DNT Designs, A&J Custom Creations. I got a lot of them. Hinkle Homes. That's all I can remember for now. My girlfriend Olivia. Appreciate everyone at Coast to Coast, and you, man, for doing the broadcast as always.
Well, hey, hell of a run, Joe. Man, when guys come through the field like that, it makes it a whole lot of fun to call. Great run, and I'm looking forward to a lot more of these with that fixed wheel, man. Give them hell out there.
Appreciate it, man. It was fun to drive too, like that. So.
Well, I'm telling you, it's you can win with the broken wheel now that you're back, man. The league's on full alert. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
That's Joseph Grandy, your feature winner, man. And I'm telling you, Gavin, he steals some of the spotlight there, obviously, going from 21st up to 4th. I mean, that's a great run as well, but 15th to 1st. Oh, my gosh. I mean, you heard me talk. I mean, if there was anybody I thought maybe could do it from the B main, would have been Isaac, but he had a trouble there in the beginning. And Grandy absolutely steals the show, makes it 3 wide there for the lead, hooks up on the inside through 1 and 2, and you're looking out the back. There comes Anthony in line, and it is just over from that point. Great run by the 518 of Joseph Grandy. And with that, I'm going to wrap up my portion, but I believe we've got the man here who's going to bring up the Pro Lates. Travis, how are we thinking here at Knoxville? We going to get a good one?
It's going to be a good one with the Pro Late models. They're already on the track and ready to finish up our Thursday Night Thunder with the late models there at Knoxville.
All right. Well, you heard the man. They're already out there on the track, so we'll make this short and sweet. Thanks for tuning into my portion of tonight of Thursday Night Thunder. Stick around. Travis Piercefield's going to bring you the Pro Late models here at Knoxville. We're going to run an ad here, swap over, have a good evening, and enjoy the rest of the show.